Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Angel. Today's episode of Dev++, we're going to be talking about building a JSON REST API with Go Engine. Getting started guide. So again, we're going to be using the Go programming language, Engine, which is a web framework for building web applications using Go. And it's going to be a soft start for the Go programming language. So things that we're going to cover in this video, we're going to install Go on a Mac computer, doing a small program with Go, Hello World with Go. We're going to create a module, my first module, which is going to be the app that we're going to be building. And then we're going to install Gin. And then finally, we're going to be creating our first route using Gin. What we're going to be putting out for different videos and following videos is going to be connecting to a database to do our task management app, saving tasks, creating tasks and stuff like that. We're going to be doing also data validation, user authentication, and production deployments. I'm going to also add to that periodic and async task, because that's a very also popular subject that we should be covering. In async tasks. Perfect. So let's get to it. So the first thing that you have to do, you have to go to the go.dev website to download your version. Mine, I have a Mac computer. So basically I just, click here and there, a couple of next, for the old time's sake, for installing the most up-to-date version of Go, which is 1.19.5. I used Go a couple of years ago. It was, I think, the 1.16 version, maybe a prior one. Actually enjoy working with Go. It's super fast and efficient into dealing with I/O operations. Just I went full sail with Python and JavaScript. But today we're gonna start doing some Go. Okay. So just keep in mind, guys, we're gonna be taking as a following guide the getting started guide from the Go website. So if you want to check out the steps that I'm following in a different source, that's a good place, right? So let's start with creating a directory. I'm gonna call this Go Gin JSON REST API. Or just REST API. I'm gonna cd into the directory, right? Perfect. I'm gonna check out my Go version. Perfect. And I'm gonna create one file called hello.go, right? For working with Go, I do use Visual Studio. I do love JetBrains, but I don't want to purchase. I don't want to purchase a license for something that I'm not going to be using that much regularly. I'll think about it, but for now, let's test Visual Studio. So we start with a hello Go. Okay, so basically the first sentence or the first thing that we have to put there is the name of the package, right? I'm gonna call this package main for simplicity. We're gonna be adding a function named main, right? Every software, this is very common in all programming languages, right? Every software that has an interface to run through the CLI, it has to have like a main function which is the starting point or the entry point to the software. Usually you don't need a main if you're building just like a library or something for using different organizing your code externally and build out to a bigger software. But in this case, we're gonna use a main function just because we want to run this in the command line. So there is a standard package called fmt, which holds the print line function, which is what we're gonna use for our Hello World application, right? So first of all, we do this, we're just gonna save our file and we're gonna go to the terminal to try go run that. So starting in newer versions of Go, they created this module mechanism where everything that you have in Go has to be a module, right? That's how you import things. That's the package management way of doing things, and that includes running your own local, code. So for this, we're gonna go with naming a package or creating a package, with the name of the folder. So once we add this, right? Let's go to a go mod tidy just to install any dependencies that is pending, indicated by our folder good mod. It creates this go.mod folder. Basically, it has the name of the module and the dependencies, included version of Go, right? So we do this, and now we can run our software. So there you go. You have your first hello world. I'm gonna commit this file, so don't worry about it. And actually, it's like super simple. So let's move forward, right? So the next thing that we need to do, according to what we have prepared here, right? We did our hello world first. Is gonna be creating the first Go model, which we did, and now we're gonna be installing Gin, right? Okay. So before we install Gin, right? I'm gonna go to Go Gin in GitHub, right? Follow those instructions. Before we install Gin, right? I would like to make like a small pause right here. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos, and of course share this with anyone who you think that this information is useful. Also put any comments regarding upcoming videos or things that you want to see in this or any other technology, right? Okay, moving forward. So we go to the Gym GitHub page. Just gonna import this, right? Just copy and paste this just to create our first Gin application, right? And we're gonna be just copying and pasting all this too. So now we did our hello world application. We're just gonna do our first hello world with Gin, right? So a couple of things to notice here, right? First of all, we have a new dependency, an HTTP, that we have to import. It's from a core package. It's called net.http, right? So this basically, when you save it, it groups things. Now it removes the FMT. It formats and removes stuff using a CLI tool that the Go programming language has for formatting files, right? So we're gonna create our first, route here with Gin, right? Pretty straightforward. Just /ping, right? It takes a function which is the handler of the function, and it basically using the get method, and basically using the context of Gin is gonna just print that JSON. Remember that this takes care of sending the headers, because you need to send an application JSON content type just for the browser to understand you're returning JSON. And this is gonna be the response, right? So a couple of things here. These are, let's call this, let's rename this for application, right? Perfect. Application, run. We're gonna do one more thing. We're just gonna refactor a little bit this code just to make it a little bit more visible that it's a function. I'm gonna call this ping. I'm gonna use camel case. That's gonna be relevant later, right? I'm just gonna refactor this ping handler just to check out if this works, right? So let's go ahead and try it. If we go run that, it's gonna complain that we haven't installed yet the package, right? So let's go and do the steps. This way it will download the package, right? And now we should be able to run perfectly the web server or the development server. So it takes a few seconds the first time, and now it's telling us that this is running already in the 8080, right? So we go ahead, we go to localhost 8080, right? Slash doesn't have anything. We're gonna go slash ping, and he's gonna reply with pong, right? It's perfect. That's kind of like working. So in addition to that, first or last, we're gonna do one more handler here. I'm gonna call this hello. I'm gonna call this hello handler, right? I'm gonna create a new function here. New Go function called hello handler, and the message is gonna be hey, back to you. All right, so we have the hello handler here. Oh, I put a typo here. So one thing to talk for us if you're new on Go, right? So there is a convention. It's not like a convention. It's part of the language, right? On Go, that any symbol that you type on a starting with a camel case, it should be public and visible to any other package within our application, right? So let's say that you want to refactor this code and put this in a different file in a different folder. You have to keep this with a camel case, including a capital case at the end. Sorry, at the beginning, because that's going to be imported by our module and it's going to be used here. So if you keep this lowercase, kind of like a lower camel case type of naming, is not going to be visible outside, and you're not going to be able to use it, right? So we're just going to save this. Just going to throw up here and run it again. We refresh, making sure our pong is working, and one more route. Hi, back to you. Great. So last thing what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a new repo here just to push this code to github.com, my organizations. So that plus plus, gonna create a new repository, and we're gonna call this exactly as the name that we chose here, JSON REST API. So we'll make sure it's public, create the repo, and okay, so let's go get status. Right, we have these 3 files. I'm gonna just commit this. Our first Go engine handler. So we're just gonna add the remote, which is what identifies that it's gonna be pushed to origin. My authentication for GitHub, and then we have the code here. I'll make sure to include the links for this, and thank you again for watching. Make sure to like the video and put any comments regarding what should we be doing next. Remember that for the next episodes and the next sequence of this videos, I'm gonna be connecting to a database. Not sure if it's gonna be Mongo or MySQL. I'm leaning a little bit more to MySQL because I done Mongo in the past, and then some data validation in user authentication, deployment, and doing all this fun stuff. All right, guys, thank you. See you in the next one.